Now I want to know what she has to say. Wherever
Danny!
that was.
Sorry.
What does she have to say?
I don't know.
Was it a TikTok?
Yeah, it was Glenny Balls.
I love my guy.
Oh, so yeah, that may not be appropriate for our.
You have really big feet.
No, probably not that
I'm a
one.
men's 10 and a half, so like I have big.
Yep, not appropriate for our podcast.
My guy.
He lives the life.
He does.
Crazy how you go from hamburger reviews to.
Well, he was also Akira's assistant.
He was. I remember that.
He got a lot of dick pics thrown his way. To get where he's at.
It's a real rise to stardom for our guy. For a guy, Glenny Balls.
Got to start somewhere in life, right?
You really do. You really do.
Welcome, episode 349 of the SND Podcast Show. For the first time in podcast show history, well, SND Podcast Show history,
The first time.
the New York Giants have won a postseason game.
Yes,
Unbelievable.
it has happened. Hell is frozen over.
Pigs have flown. Hell is frozen over.
Honestly,
Oh.
it was a great.
It's
feeling
fitting
for
because
them.
that was a Viking call. That guy that was yelling that.
Yeah, it was a great win. Great win. Daniel Jones showed up. Saquon Barkley showed up when they called on him. I would like to have him run the ball a little bit more,
Yeah,
but this
Why? We can get into that more. That was
we'll
weird.
get into that more. Well,
Guy needed
we-
9 yards for me to hit a parlay.
Yeah,
9
same.
freaking yards to hit a parlay.
Oh, you did the touchdown and 60-yard boost? I
Yeah.
did.
9 freaking yards.
Yeah. Whatever. We got the win. I took the Giants money line, so
And you forgot the most important one. The shout out to Kenny Galladay with the block of the game.
best block of his that made his $72 million contract that one play.
All jokes aside, he deserves credit for attempting to block. A guy in that
wasn't an attempt.
situation.
He threw that guy to the ground.
No, but I'm saying a guy in that situation.
that was
the
a
last
pancake,
thing he wants to do is block.
that was an all-time pancake
Yeah.
block for a wide receiver.
So the last thing a guy who's getting paid all that money and is not and is clearly like on his way out wants to
Right.
do is fucking block, and he
Right.
does it. He deserves a little bit of credit. Just
Yeah.
a little.
Listen, and in about 4 weeks, when he catches the game-winning touchdown at the end, he could take his cut check.
I'm not even
that he's
I
going
don't
to
want
get
to make
and have a good day.
I don't even want to make fun of the Giants, because obviously we're about to play the Eagles in the division round. But I really do not know if the Giants know how to throw a fade pass. I really don't think we do.
You're probably right, but I think fades have gone the way of the A-track tape because, like, I feel like they're very simple. So, and people are trying to be more creative now.
Right.
And
Well, I was thinking where Steve was going. He was going the Plexico Bears route, so that's why.
I wouldn't
Okay,
go that
yeah.
far. I wasn't going there.
But I'm saying, like,
Well,
those
you
goal
were.
line fades, I feel like nobody runs them anymore. Like that was
No.
a Larry Fitz, T.O., Megatron kind of
Yeah.
route.
tight end, big tight end. You don't see those big
Yeah,
tight
Very
ends
shocking.
anymore.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's been a fun ride, so we're gonna get into that. It would be the Giants haven't won in Philly since 2013, so a lot's
Haven't won a
riding.
playoff game since 2011, so it's the January of breaking streaks.
We are due.
Well, let's start with the whole game in general. I mean, that's the biggest topic, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's why did they not give Saquon the ball at the end of the game?
I think with the game
And this keeps
plan-
happening. This is like the fourth time this has happened this season.
This
I
has
think-
become a thing because the early part of the year was throw early, run late. and now they're flipping the script to keep people on their toes. Like,
I
Hey.
also think that they saw know how crappy the Vikings passing game is, so
Okay.
they focused on that. Like, all right, we're just gonna keep on throwing the ball. If Jones sees an opening, he's gonna run it, and whenever we use Saquon's fresh enough that he's gonna carry it. So I would have personally gave him the ball more because of the way he was running the ball, especially on the first.
That first drive, yeah, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, and he would have had more yards if it wasn't for a holding penalty. So, yeah. But don't worry, he'll be used a lot this weekend, I'm assuming, because I saw somewhere one of the analytical stats, the Eagles' defense is 23rd in the league. So
that is their bugaboo. They signed Sue.
Right, they signed Sue and Linval Joseph
To try and fix it. I don't know how much it's helped lately. They've been in a funk, kind of without Jalen.
I'm honestly petrified about the Eagles' pass rush. They were 2 sacks away from the all-time record in a season.
Yeah,
4 guys have over 10 sacks, so that's kind of insane. And the Giants' killer has 16 in Hassan Reddick. If you guys remember him, he was the guy from the Cardinals in 2020 when Jones was already hurt, and he got 6 sacks that game. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's
Forgetting we're playing Saturday.
Yeah, we're playing Saturday night, so it's going to be very interesting. Obviously, a ruckus crowd in Philly.
Chilly.
Is it going to be chilly? Okay.
Yeah, chilly.
Chilly in Philly. All right.
Let's see. Do we have
Real
a weather
field 29, low of 28. Not
That's
too
not
bad on
terrible.
the winds.
Not terrible for
That's not the worst.
January. It's not Lambeau Field.
No.
Yeah, but it's also not indoor Minnesota.
Right.
That's the key that you got to
Do we have anything indoor left? No.
Well, technically, if there's the Bills Chiefs AFC Championship game and Super Bowl.
You're telling me you couldn't put that in an outdoor stadium?
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I'm with.
Couldn't put it in.
Well, 3 stadiums said no, so that's what
Right.
he said.
Well, Chicago's redoing their stadium.
Well, they didn't want to. They asked Detroit. They asked.
They asked for
Indy.
neutral places that have
Yeah.
domes, so they didn't have to worry about the weather. And and all I'm thinking is, those 2 teams literally's advantage at home is weather.
I mean, Kansas City a little bit less, but definitely, Cincinnati.
But Kansas City does get up there.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Well, I should say.
Well, now they got that
down
heat
there.
from Chapman coming. All Chapman heat going to Kansas City.
So
yeah, I mean, that's just he'll be.
He'll have a tattoo by February 1st. He'll be out
like
till-
this
He'll be on
weekend.
somebody else's
Like
team
this
by
weekend's the
July.
best football weekend of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Everything we get has a good storyline. NFC East matchup.
Right.
The Dallas-San Francisco is
The
a
classic.
all-time rivalry. Yeah, exactly. Allen Burrow, the rematch of what happened. I mean, it's hard to even call it a rematch, but of what happened with Hanlon. And then
the Jags.
The 2 hottest teams in the league. That's really what that comes
I
down
mean,
to.
that's this. Yeah, it's hard to call in this AFC playoffs. Pat's the old guard, and Trevor Lawrence is the young gun.
Yeah, but
I just
Kansas
wanna see
City's
that to
not
be
blowing a 24-point early, and they're
I
actually
just
going to
want to
run
see
the
that
ball.
be a game.
For whatever reason, the Chiefs never cover. For whatever reason, they have control of the game, but for whatever reason, they just don't put their foot on their team's throat for whatever weird reason.
This season, you're saying?
Just in general, the last couple.
I'm trying to think, because like this year would make more sense just because the explosiveness is not there. They don't have Tyreek and
forever. Well, last year was the they're 15-point underdogs. They're like 20-point favorites. They're 15-point favorites.
right.
Like spreads that are like, oh, okay. It's a little outrageous.
Right.
Even the
So that
07
wasn't. Yeah.
Pats are.
But even
But-
last year, it's like it was all there except for a half of football.
Right. They just completely stopped playing.
Yeah.
And it started on that final drive in the first half and then snowballed. So that should be
I
interesting.
feel like their offense took a step backwards without Hill. I feel like they were looking for the Hill, but they couldn't find it.
Right, but they still had the production. He's been throwing over 400 yards a few times this year. So you're right in the explosiveness, but everything else is still right there. Oddly.
Well, like it didn't. They tried to recreate everyone
the
with different
explosiveness,
roles.
right.
Yeah, they tried with MVS and Juju and whatever, and it didn't work. Is Juju's not even playing? Is he?
Yeah, he is. He
Did
was.
he get hurt?
He was
thought
hurt for a minute, but I think
Okay.
he played. He had a concussion,
Okay.
if I remember correctly. I think that was like a month ago. Like he's
Who is their leading receiver?
I want to say, well, Kelsey
it's
probably.
It's Kelsey. Yeah, he's got 110 catches, 1,300 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Jesus goddamn Christ, that guy is good.
On November 13th, he had a concussion. By the
Okay,
way.
2 months.
Juju. He hasn't said anything since.
Yeah, receiving. He had 900 yards in 16 games. Juju,
I could see him going back
not
there.
bad. MVS.
MVS.
Tony turned it on towards the end there.
Yeah, Miko Hart. But Tony still is like 20 yards and like
Right.
5 yards of like 20
Yeah,
yards.
but
rush.
you don't know what it would have been. I kind of felt with the way you saw them using him, he got put into that Hill role. So who knows? Like he's going to be there next year. Who knows what it's going to be like for him?
Yeah, if he stays healthy and cares.
He doesn't have random hamstring injuries that don't exist.
But
He won't get injuries when he plays. It's only when he doesn't
but
get.
they did focus on him for the Raider game because that was the last game I saw because that was the standalone Saturday game. So they did focus on him for a little bit, but nothing enough to be like oh wow, he's back kind of thing. But he did score that. He was the guy that scored the touchdown on the ring around the Rosie touchdown before it got called back.
Yeah, but then he got the touchdown after it.
Right.
He got the actual touchdown.
And they used him as a running back at that, a few times that game too. So of all things, I'm like, Kurt, don't understand how he didn't want to focus on being a Giant / injuries. Like we could have used them in those style of things.
14, 171, and 2 touchdowns is what he ended up with on their team.
Right. Like it would have been sick to see him instead of like Breida in the
Ricky
back.
James.
Well, that too, but in the backfield with Saquon, that would be even crazier,
I was thinking about it watching the game on Sunday with Breida, and it's like that's literally what they brought Shane Vereen in to do all those years ago.
Right.
And Breida's just a lot better at it. And also, the reason I like Breida would have been over Tony, even if Tony was still on the team, is he just knows the offense.
No, I agree with you. I meant in the general scheme of things, like we could have like interchanged, like, oh wow, okay, Kadarius is in the backfield type of thing, but that's long gone. So like I'm interested to see if the Jags are able to start the game kind of on a clicking form, because obviously everybody thinks Casey's going to win. More likely they probably will, but I would like to see Jacksonville fight.
Yeah, I
can't see a Peterson team not fighting.
Yeah, you're right, but I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to have 4 interceptions in the first half again. Crazy.
I don't think he will
Maybe
either.
He's trying to start a tradition.
It's very interesting that what it says about what the league thinks of this game, that they put Pat Mahomes in the 4:30 Saturday window. It's not
right.
I think they think it's gonna
be bad.
And I don't think it's going to be close, but
8.5.
I don't even think I think it's going to be a 10-point game.
Yeah.
Personally.
But
that's
I
not
think it's
an
going to be
insult to-
close
if
most
they
of the
lose-
game, and then the fourth quarter you'll see them.
If they lose
it's
31,
like the
20,
Niners. It's like the Niners game last
Right.
week.
If they lose 31-20, like I think that was in the Niners one, but something like that, that's a good showing for the Jaguars.
Well, Seahawks were up at half, and then the Niners are like, no, okay.
Right.
At what
It was
point do we just like cancel the Chargers?
Now,
They're that team. They're that team. Like they're like the Mets. They're just that team.
it's funny. I was talking to my dad about it, and because obviously,
It doesn't matter who's quarterback, who's running back, who's their
Who's
star
the coach?
players.
well, that's
Well,
what
yeah,
he was.
that's what
We
I'm
were
saying.
talking about. I was like, because this was Sunday.
Doesn't
I was
matter
like,
who the coach is.
if you lose to Brady, like you're getting Sean Payton's becoming his Cowboy coach, and so we were also talking about the Chargers, whatever. And if you look, him and Peyton and McCarthy's like stats, coaching stats are very similar,
right.
but it's just Peyton's looked at a little better than
But
McCarthy.
see, the thing with Peyton is you're gonna have to give up a couple draft picks, and
Yeah, I didn't
and he's
realize
demanding
that.
$20 million.
He's still under contract.
Yes, at least 2 more years. I want to say.
So you're gonna have to pay him $15-20 million and give up a second and a third.
Yeah, he was even saying ones, but obviously you're tooting your own horn, so of course you're gonna say that.
That's crazy. I don't know if he's worth that.
Yeah, I don't.
If
I
you're
don't
the
think
Chargers,
so.
I wouldn't do that.
No, well, they're keeping their head coach.
They said okay.
They fired Lombardi though.
Good.
But it is criminal. They only ran the ball 7 times in the second half.
Why? Like, is
Who, the
Austin
Jaguars
Eckler
or the Chargers?
a
Chargers.
bad running back?
But Eckler's not
But
bad.
Eckler's not.
That's the crazy.
He literally scores the first touchdown in every game they play.
Is it maybe he's just a really good receiver and he's not that great of a running back, like an actual runner?
I
I don't
maybe
know.
they don't trust their line. I don't get it. I don't. It
Well,
makes
that
no
was the
sense.
other thing. What their biggest piece on their line was out.
Yeah, he was
all
out
season.
He was
for
at the
all
whole season, yeah. The left tackle, right?
And a couple of those penalties on Bosa was kind of bogus, but it's the NFL.
Yeah, but you also can't run at the ref and throw your
Well,
own in his defense.
He's a
I know that.
what a maniac.
Yeah.
Mike, the biggest thing I had to ask was were they going for 2 no matter what?
I think so.
Kind of felt like it, right?
Knowing Peterson, he definitely was.
It kind of felt like they were all in on going for 2 there.
Yeah.
He's notorious for that.
At that moment, I think you had to.
I'm sorry, if I have a running back during the season that carries about 204 times for 915 yards, I'm going to trust him a little bit more, especially when I'm up that big and I want to kind of close the game out.
It feels like they have no faith in him. Maybe.
You know what? It's actually
Something I'm
interesting that you say that because it really looks like it based on his stats.
Yeah.
Like
It's a lot of catches.
Gets the catches and he scores.
No, it's only
in the
like
red
4.
zone.
Like his high this year was 11, 8.
It's a lot of catches.
About 12 is actually the high.
That's very.
That's a
that is
receiver
a lot.
number.
Still, like carry wise, it's like 14, 4,
Yeah,
13,
they don't-
16.
For
Maybe he's
whatever-
worse than we think. I don't know.
It could be, but he finds a way in the end zone. He's a magnet. It's like his 3rd year leading the league in touchdowns, right? Second, at least second.
I don't know. There's got to be something. I mean, they've always done this. This is just a Charger thing. It feels like there was always a 1-2 punch. That at least they tried to use, but they don't have a 2. I don't know.
Well, I don't think
Yeah.
Kelly's terrible. They're good
Joshua
receiving.
Kelly,
attack.
Isaiah Spiller is there.
He's still around.
Different Spiller.
Oh, that's right.
That was
Okay.
CJ. That
Right.
dude was good. I think Danny's right. I mean, that's the most Charger way to lose anything ever.
Good for Evan Ingram, by the way. I forgot to mention that.
Definitely good for that dude. He had a very good season.
Right, and he's gonna get paid probably by them. I wouldn't see them. I wouldn't see
hope
him
so.
leaving.
There's no way he leaves there.
No,
I wouldn't want. Yeah,
I
him.
don't-
Why
I
would
don't-
you want to?
I think after 5 years, because he did the 5th year option.
Mhm.
5 years here was absolutely horrific for both parties. So good for him.
Listen, it's either going to be them or someone's going to offer him a ridiculous amount
right.
of money that like he's going to have to say, "Screw it."
Yeah, right. Which he
So Trevor,
deserves.
best of luck.
Well,
Listen,
we don't know
He,
what.
he did the. Hey, this is my year. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to take a year.
Right.
What did he make this year?
It wasn't a
Money-wise?
lot. I don't think
It
it
was
was
like
a lot.
under 20.
I mean, I would hope so.
9 million.
20's crazy.
That's
$9
like
million.
Well,
$3
thinking
million
baseball.
signing bonus, $8 million guaranteed, and okay.
you would assume he's getting all that money.
He made cash details is $9,200,000 this year.
Yeah, okay. So
After all the bonuses and everything.
Right.
what did he make the year before? 6. Okay. So he even got a pay raise.
Right.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah, good.
It would have been like I've mentioned last couple times. Like it's unfortunate. Like he needed the scenery change. Like he would have been perfect on this offense. But well.
Maybe if you didn't boo him when he came on the field.
Well, yeah, that
And hear him when he got off.
that-
Cheer him when he got off the field.
Well, Jason Garrett using him on jet sweeps
I mean,
in
Jason
the end zone
Garrett.
for like whatever reason.
Every time I hear the name Jason Garrett, I just cringe.
Oh my god, every time you watch Channel 4 and he's like smiling while he's talking, I just want to punch him in the face.
The worst. He's so bad.
It's like,
So
you're so
Could-
bad.
could Al Michaels just be excited one time after
No.
that?
And it was even worse with the juxtaposition of the next night with Tirico and the Sam Hubbard recovery. Tirico lost his mind.
No, but he was like he wasn't what's his face. He wasn't the guy on Fox
Gus
what's-
Johnson.
because he wasn't Gus Johnson. He was in the middle.
No,
He-
he was.
he
I'm
wasn't
saying it was-
dead,
he lost his
like,
mind. Good. He was
yeah.
properly excited.
Yeah, he was
Al
like in
Michaels
the middle. Al Michaels
Didn't
was
give a
dead.
Shit.
Tirico was in the middle, and then you get Gus
Well,
Johnson.
Tarico's getting the Jaguar Chiefs.
The what?
What?
Jaguar Chiefs is Tarico. This because it's on NBC. It's the only NBC game.
Right.
So they're not going to have Al come in and do that game. I was kind of shocked they didn't give him Collinsworth. He was probably pissed off because they had him fucking working with Tony Dungy.
That might have been why he was just because nobody wants to work with Tony Dungy. Yeah, you would think Fox, CBS, Fox.
What this weekend?
Yeah, I would
Sunday is
think
CBS and Fox. Romo and
Nance.
Nance
are
do the
gonna be
Bill
in
game.
Buffalo.
Who's doing the Giant game? That's the second Fox game.
I would
that's
assume,
the first Fox game. That's the thing. I'm
but
going
I
to
think
assume
it's the
It's probably gonna be
second
Joe
ranked.
Davis. Yeah, it's probably gonna be Joe Davis.
Joe Davis and is it Moose with him?
I'm pretty sure it's Moose.
yeah,
and
it's
then
Moose.
Burkhart and Greg Olson will do the.
They're
Sunday game.
phenomenal. They're very.
They're great.
I'm excited to watch them call the Super Bowl this year.
They're the guy. They're like watching the game with your buddies, and
Right.
they'll like not make it complicated. They're not thinking they're better than you, but they'll also teach. Olsen will teach you the game in a dumber
Right.
way.
Olson's very good. Burkhart, I love him.
Well, yeah,
His voice, he doesn't have the big game like feel yet.
Yeah.
You got to get there a little bit.
Well, this is his year to figure it
This
out
is-
because he's got
they have
got
two
two
Super
big games
Bowls
coming up.
They have two Super Bowls in 3 years. So
And also he's got you got to realize he's got the NFC Championship game next week and then the Super Bowl game 2 weeks later. So
Right.
you better get that big game feel going.
I think
I'm probably biased because it was a Giant game, but
Oh, he was good. Yeah.
so and then
Yeah, I don't know. Even Olsen, even those bye week games that he would call was good. Like
He's very
Right.
he
good.
was getting ready to basically get to the booth.
Very knowledgeable.
Maybe Fox will have Brady on the sideline for one of the games because they signed him for one of the huge contracts.
Yeah,
Well, who's
maybe
gonna-
maybe for the Super Bowl. I would hope so.
That is interesting.
You could put him on the pregame for the
Right.
Super Bowl.
But we don't know when the clock starts, so that's
Right.
the difficult thing.
Yeah, but
That
it could
is-
be one of those like Olsen had. You're allowed to
No,
come and go when you want
right.
to.
Right.
That is interesting. It seems like they already got Brady to a contract that maybe, no offense to KB, but like they get another big,
See,
who's
well,
left?
all
Who's the next big guy?
all the contracts are like linked up, so they're
That's
fine.
it, right? So it's like
The only other big guy you could think of ideally right now is Tirico, right?
when's his I don't know, because he signed the
No.
contract a few years ago.
He's not leaving.
And then
NBC.
Michael's stuck around.
He's not leaving NBC because he's the voice of the Olympics. He does Sunday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
He has the marquee spot for that channel.
So
Now he
on
does,
July
yeah.
9th, 2022, the article of 7 highest paid broadcasters in sports was released. Rico was number 7.
Romo.
It doesn't have
It might be Buck and Aikman now.
Well, Buck and Aikman now, but
Nance is 6.
He's also winding down too because this year's his final March Madness.
Right. So now tied for 4th is Michaels, Joe Buck, Herb Street.
Yeah, well, he has 3 jobs, so.
Oh yeah, he works everything. Guy does Thursday night, Saturday morning, the guy's everywhere.
Right.
He's not bad.
He lives on a plane.
He's good though. I like him.
Aikman and Romo are tied for 1. Still doesn't say the Tirico contract.
And I'll be honest, I watched Joe and Troy more than the Manning cast because it was a big game and I wanted to watch the real broadcast.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the difference between last year's booth and this year. No offense to Levy and those guys, but it was just all right, Joe. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are the big game in town, so I don't hate it.
No, you also knew they were getting that game was going to be Monday because Troy only gets one
right
playoff game. He's got to call Dallas.
And the whole Brady factor, which he's washed up. It was like watching.
I don't think it was Brady. I think it was more of Troy being like, I get one shot at this. I want Dallas to be my team.
I think that Brady definitely played a part in it.
Of course he did. And I think, unfortunately, watching Brady, this was the first time watching Brady, and it was like watching that old boxer that is just in there for a payday, and it's just like, get me out of here.
He can't move.
That.
I can't wait to see him in Miami next year.
That interception just was that's not Tom Brady.
I don't know why. I don't know who's going to take him or why anybody would
someone's going to take him because he's Tom Brady. What the
Bucs. There's a team that needs to sell tickets. It's going to say
exactly what the Bucs did. They used them for the 3 years and got a Super Bowl out of it.
Yeah, they got a Super Bowl out of it.
It was an interesting move by them. One of the highest sought out coaches the last 2 years was left.
Yeah, well, he
told him to F off today.
Well, that crashed and burned of any chance of him getting a coaching job anytime soon, unfortunately.
Yeah. Is Todd Bowles just that bad of a coach?
Yeah.
It makes
he's not a good head coach.
He's the definition of some guys are just coordinators.
Yeah. And he's going to go somewhere and be a great defensive coordinator. And that's it.
It's like Leslie Frazier as well from the Bills.
Yeah, and that's the problem, and I don't know if
Wade
it's
Phillips,
the problem.
when he left the.
That's what Wade Phillips, the guy I go to every time. Yeah,
he's the king,
and it's just
unfortunately Todd Bowles is gonna overtake Wade Phillips.
But the same thing, even Leslie Frazier, Wade Phillips, it takes a couple. You just mentally have to take a couple shots at being a head coach before you can say, I can't do it. Because Wade Phillips was the head coach of the Bills back, fucking early 2000s, and then there was Dallas, and then after that he was like, okay, now I'm done. Bowles, this was his second shot.
Didn't Phillips get Houston for an interim? I think also.
I don't remember.
I just remember
maybe because of his dad.
I don't know. I just remember the Buffalo thing because they lost that game to the Titans.
He was the Music City Miracle coach.
Yeah.
Him and Kevin Gilbert Wasn't Gilbride on that? No, Gilbride was on Houston. That's right.
Yeah, that's
Gilbert
one
was on
Buddy.
Houston with his dad, and they
Yeah.
he punched him in the face.
No, that's Buddy Ryan.
Oh, that's Buddy. I'm mixing up dads now.
Yeah.
That's another interesting one. First of all,
No, he's living his life on TV.
I know, but I completely forgot he got another job.
Yeah, with the Bills, he rushed into that job.
Completely. I
He
went and
ran
looked.
he ran to Buffalo because he wanted to go and beat up the Jets for firing him.
When I went and I looked, like I watched him on TV and was like, why didn't that guy get another shot? And he did get another shot, and it didn't go well. And he's good at TV. He could. I mean, I don't really watch.
Can you
it that
imagine-
much.
He's a good Sunday morning with your coffee guy. Just kind of hear him
With
blabber
Rex,
about stuff. I'm definitely more of an NFL network guy, but
And
like,
know what sucks with Rex?
you know, once
Buffalo,
in a while, ESPN's not doing it.
Where's
Buffalo-
Rob?
That is a great question. He's somewhere.
I'm looking it up. Go ahead, Danny. Sorry.
Like with Rex, he went to that one place where if they
Isn't he in
won in
Oakland?
Buffalo,
The Raiders. Rob Ryan is currently a senior defensive
defensive
with Raiders.
Okay.
He has that look of a Raider also. Like
well,
Yeah, he
yeah,
does.
the silver hair.
But yeah, he'll have a job at ESPN forever.
He's entertaining enough. He's always was entertaining.
the other thing with Wade Phillips was he got put in the perfect scenario in Los Angeles. Because
Oh, yeah.
McVay was like, "Hey, I just need a guy to coach defense. You don't have to do anything else."
Right, and Denver as well. He was
Right,
the
he did it.
coordinator for
He did it a
Super
couple
Bowl
of
50.
times.
Yeah, he was the perfect guy to bring in and just let him coach and
Right, the Rams defensive
let him
coordinator.
coach
He was
his
the Bron-
thing. You're gonna do your thing, and
He was the Texans defensive coordinator right after Dallas and got an interim spot in 2013.
Oh, okay.
And then he
towards
did-
the end of that year.
Completely
Yeah.
forgot about that.
And then he didn't coach in 2014. And then 15, he said, "Okay, we're doing defensive coordinator."
Oh, so his first year as the DC, they went to the Super
they
Bowl.
went to the Super Bowl, and then
well, the
it
Rams.
was
No,
Denver.
Denver.
And then he was there one more year, 2016.
Right.
Peyton was gone, I guess, and then that was
Yeah,
over.
that
He
was
left.
that was that real like.
Right.
Who was the
Life
Jet-
after Peyton? It was like life after Peyton. Brock Osweiler, is that the coach?
It was him, but who was the Jet backup for the time being? He started the home opener after winning the Super Bowl. Oh, Trevor Siemian.
Simeon, yes. And then went to the Rams. What is this?
Yes, Trevor Simeon went 8-6 in 14 games that year, and that was the year they drafted Paxton Lynch and thought he was the next great thing.
Right.
That was the other guy, Paxton
Right.
Lynch. Wade Phillips is the head coach.
Also, Riley
and
Dixon was perfect 1-for-1 on passes that year.
Wade Phillips is the head coach and GM of the Houston Roughnecks, who are going to be in the XFL.
Oh, look at that.
That makes sense. I can
Good
see that.
for-
There's some good.
good for him. He's in charge.
Thankfully, hopefully it's run well with The Rock and his ex-wife.
Let's see. Anybody we know here on this team?
They dismembered the New York team.
Did they?
They moved the New York team.
Regardless,
I
they're
have never heard of any of the people on this team, so sorry.
someone got drafted.
Caleb LB. He went to Western Michigan.
Vic Beasley.
That's a quarterback.
I think Kyle Lauletta got drafted of Giant fame.
Vic
Tough.
Beasley was the biggest name
Oh, okay.
that went to the XFL that I remember hearing. Okay, the DC Defenders have one quarterback on their team. That's not going to work out too well for you guys.
Is PFT kicking?
He should be. Oh, speaking of kicking, do you have to bring in a new kicker in Dallas?
Yo, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Like-
shout out, Hines. You're saying going on social media and be like, you can't even give me $10 million to go kick for you guys.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how long? How do you do this? Do you bring in a guy this week that you
They
like?
I saw on the ticker watching NFL Network that they brought someone on the practice squad.
Okay.
They
you-
brought some.
there's-
They put someone on the practice squad, but they're not going away from him because, like, that
There's
was
probably
their.
plenty of guys that'll hit you from inside 50 a good percentage, and that you just can't.
See, he was lucky that it was against the perfect team to do that on.
Right. He's lucky it's going to be Brady. The
Like,
Brady is
this
the talk
week-
of the game.
This week he has legit no shot of if he was to miss one, it's over.
Well, he in my mind.
By the way,
he has
St.
one
Louis's
shot.
quarterback is St. Louis Battlehawks quarterback is AJ McCarron.
McCarron.
All right, Alabama fan.
Where's Brett Musburger?
Uncle Brett.
He gets one kick. If he misses the first extra point, you're going for two the rest of the game. We're not even dealing with
Your
it.
confidence in the guy's
you're,
over.
You're screwed. You're gone.
I really
This
want
isn't a team you could miss extra points against because they'll put up,
It's gonna be.
especially at home.
I'm excited to see Dallas's game plan offensively against their defense.
Yeah, that's
Because I think I think the Cowboys obviously can handle Purdy.
but
They could definitely get to
Have
him.
they, though?
is he gonna keep getting away with it? Like
Like, it makes
is
no
he just
sense.
good?
I think it's the weapons around him. Let's be real.
The weapons are phenomenal. So yeah,
It's gonna
But
be
you-
interesting. Like,
you
because
gotta be a
he's like,
competent driver at the wheel.
it's just insane. Because
Isn't it funny though? Like if you look at the team, like they won't throw the ball with Jimmy G there, but with this guy, they'll sling it all over the place. Jimmy G,
it's
you're
just
paying
the
how much
weapons.
money to be a quarterback, and you're afraid to throw it down the field. This guy, you're just slinging it everywhere.
I think he's just confident enough in his scheme to be completely honest.
Right. And it's crazy how incredibly lucky he gets at certain play calls that like should have been picked. Like the stats are there. Like, wow, how aren't they picked off? But kudos
mean-
to him, man. It's a great story. He like got himself probably competing for a starting job next season.
His stats, okay.
If not, has the starting job.
They're
You got
I'm just looking.
Lance is still in his rookie contract, so it's still
Right.
cuttable if you feel confident about it, or his
Right.
foot's not fully ready. And Jimmy G couldn't leave. It could be his job.
Well, Jimmy G is a free agent,
So
so he is gone.
That's
I
all.
think he has to be cut, doesn't he?
Jimmy? No, he's
Yeah.
a free agent.
Oh, okay.
Contract's over.
Their completion percentages were exactly the same. This is him and Jimmy. But they are throwing the ball less because they've completion percentages are very similar. Average, he has a better like per yards per completion,
Right.
but he's like 70 less yards per game. So they are throwing it less. But he's got 13 touchdowns in 9 games. Like that was in the regular season, plus what he did.
yeah,
on,
he hasn't lost in 7 games, so you got to give
Saturday.
him credit.
3
where credit's due.
touchdowns.
It's
And
gonna be
so many touchdowns in like 4 of these games.
it's gonna be interesting to see how Dallas dials it up against them, because their defense is obviously probably the best defense he's faced in these 7 games. I want to say maybe.
Let me see who he's played. Give me a sec.
I would think
Um,
without looking at it.
Washington's is pretty good.
Okay, Washington,
So he played Seattle.
Seattle
twice.
twice.
Oh, that was just Seattle
I'm-
twice.
But I'm talking about getting to the quarterback.
Washington is the best one at getting to the quarterback, and he went 15 for 22, 234, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. They played Vegas.
Like that would be the game.
Was that game in Washington or was it in San
I
Francisco?
think it
It
was
was
in
at home.
Washington. It was home. That's right.
Yeah, it was home. And then they played the Cardinals last week. This season doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It
I
doesn't
think that
No one doesn't.
Washington game is something that you'd be okay with against Dallas. That would be the ideal.
You weren't worried about Washington's offense. That was the case.
But that's the game. He went, like I said, 15, 22, 234, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and they scored
This is
30.
the best getting to the quarterback team he's going to play.
They
Yeah.
scored 37 points that day.
Yeah, but
So it's
I
like-
think that was the game that McCaffrey went off, probably, right?
They had
Washington?
a 71-yard run,
McCaffrey.
and then he hit Kittle for a couple, and then McCaffrey.
That might have been the game McCaffrey threw for one too.
McCaffrey did not. He only ran the ball 15 times for 46 yards in this game.
Oh, so then Wilson had the wrong run then?
It was Ray McLeod III had a
Oh,
71-yard
Ray.
touchdown
Wow.
run. Never heard of that guy in my life.
Yeah.
McCaffrey didn't throw. Did they have a defensive touchdown in this game? I don't know how it all adds up to 37 points. It doesn't work out in my head, but whatever.
They're the team to be in the NFC. So
yeah.
And Shanahan is a mastermind offensively. He can't game manage for the life of him in the playoffs, but we'll see.
He is a magician.
A lot of vibrations there, Steven.
Yeah, what are you doing over there?
Opening, Daniel.
Oh. Got it.
Oh, this is also what people don't remember is the rematch from last year when Dak forgot to get the ball to the.
It is the rematch.
Oh yeah, it is the rematch. That was something else.
What a dumb, stupid game.
But it's like one of those rules that like you're not gonna remember in that situation. In fairness to the guys.
I mean, he ran the extra 5, 20, 15 yards where he should have just gotten down, and you're still in field goal range, and you would have drilled it.
Well, yeah.
What do you have?
Right, it was
just the same guy just missed 4 extra points last week.
But he wasn't missing them. Then.
He was automatic last year.
He's a very good kicker. I don't know.
And he was also at home. He was also at home during that.
He's in a dome.
It's outrageous, and he like this shanks. They were all shanks.
I don't know.
And he overcompensated on number 3. That was wild.
Well, I was at the hockey game and I just kept getting the alert. Another extra point miss. I'm like, what is wrong with this guy? Are they like having people in the crowd? Is it that bad where they're just picking people to kick?
Why would they go for it? I don't know why they kicked the last one. After you miss 3 and you're up, the game you're done for the night. Go.
Yeah, but you're up, so now you're looking.
Yeah,
for
you're
that.
up big enough.
He
had to get him going, and he finally made it on his 5th try.
He had missed
hope
5
that
in a
making it
row.
on the 5th try moves on to next week.
Because he missed the last one of the game before, so he missed 5 in a row.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know. The only game we haven't talked about is the Bills-Bengals game.
It's going to be interesting.
And I think it should be the best game.
You would think.
What's the spread?
I think the Bengals. I think the Bengals take it.
What'd you say, Steve? You think 2.5?
Is what I saw before?
Steve, do you have a guess, Danny, or did you see it?
I didn't. I think it was 3.
5.5 Bills.
Why?
I don't know why. I'm taking that's easy money on the Bengals. If
I mean, neither team played good last week.
I mean,
No.
The Bills were running crazy in the game and forgot that they were in the playoffs.
They completely forgot to play after 17-0. And then for whatever reason,
didn't watch the Jaguar game.
If Tua played, they would have lost.
Yeah, I agree. But also the Bengals, like they got up early, and I thought they were gonna roll, and then they didn't.
And they did the same thing.
Yeah, but that division matchup is always that same way.
Well,
it always looks like
I'm with Steve on that one.
It definitely is a
AFC
little.
North always
And
plays that way.
Harbaugh, for whatever reason, had the worst clock management.
Listen, I feel the same way about the Giant Eagle game this week. It's a divisional matchup. It's going to be closer. Like, if I said right now I'm putting all my money on, it's the Giants to cover the 7.5.
Oh,
the only way they don't
down?
is if it's like a late.
I thought it was 8.5.
I have it. It says 7.5 right now on ESPN.
Oh, okay.
I know it opened at 7.5, and what I kept seeing all week was 7.5. So, I just went with it. But like again, a divisional matchup. Like,
I haven't done it yet.
My thought process is the last game the Eagles played, they barely beat Davis Webb.
See, I was having that talk. Like, how much is that our narrative, and how much is it that the Eagles just barely wanted to put something on paper? And like, obviously, they wanted
to get Jalen healthy. They wanted Jalen to get into a game.
I want to see how
that was the
healthy he
case.
is.
if that was the case, if they were looking to just put Jalen into a game to get
Well,
him
they
some
also
game
needed to
throws and
win
stuff,
because of the 1 seed. So,
well, yeah, that too. But still,
and
like,
they
if
lucked
that
out
was the
that
case,
Dallas lost.
could have, you know, kind of played played 3/4, and kind of just
Right.
called it a day. But they
Right.
didn't. They went all in on that game, and it almost backfired because they almost lost the game. I didn't really watch that game. Did they play a lot of their defensive players though, Danny?
They played
The
everyone.
Eagles?
They played everyone.
I was gonna
I know
say
we
like
played nobody.
No,
It
we
didn't
literally
seem like-
played no one.
they did, but like it's like the Eagles hadn't played a real game in 3 weeks, but they tried at least that game.
No,
The
they
last
played.
real game it seemed like they played was the one at MetLife Stadium.
It was. Well, the Cowboy game on Christmas.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which they, but again, even that was Gardner Minshew.
But they looked competent.
They did look
Unfortunately,
good,
Gardner Minshew, they capitalized on his mistakes.
Right.
See,
I don't know. They're
it's gonna
they're
be-
hard to get a read on.
It's going to be interesting for the Giants' standpoint is that we're getting guys back that we didn't see play that matchup at MetLife. We're getting Leo back, we're getting McKinney back, and we're getting Adoree Jackson back. I'm not saying they're going to slow it down by any means, but it definitely helps out. So it's going to be interesting. Like
Well, listen, you saw it. You saw it. You know what I loved on Sunday from the defensively for the Giants? The entire narrative going into that game was Adoree and Jefferson. The entire game.
right.
And they zoned Jefferson more than they manned Jefferson.
I thought Adoree
Adoree
Jackson
didn't
was up
stay
this
on
season.
him.
And I remember people talking like stupidly, like we should cut him next year because of money. Absolutely not.
I thought he was out for the
We
year
already learned the
after
lesson
that
early in the year
flying game.
without
Right. Right,
Bradbury.
Bradbury.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
That was-
Unfortunate mistake.
If anything, you need to get another one. You need to get
'Cause
another. You need to clone
I
Adoree
see.
Jackson
I
and get a
see
second
us.
guy.
I see us drafting either a corner or a wide receiver in the first.
Somebody on the outside.
That would be my guess.
We should draft.
And
a
it's
new
crazy,
body
and we
part
don't-
for,
we haven't-
What's his name?
We haven't
Zoo.
talked about it, and it's kind of crazy that like a guy like Isaiah Hodges just comes out of nowhere and
Looks
plays like a key contributor to the offense.
good. Yeah.
It is pretty nuts. And other than that one drop with Darius Slayton, and like I'm shocked that didn't burn us like it always does. It was right as in his hands.
It was right in his hands. I want to give.
Like it was in his hands, and he would have ran 20 more yards.
I don't know about that. Was a guy right there.
Mm-mm.
No, he would have. He was
I
going.
don't
He
know.
was ready to
He
go right
would have
around
had to
him.
get around a guy. People
He
were
would have
acting
got the
like he
first
was
down.
wide the fuck open.
He was.
He would. I know. He was wide open. There was
He
not.
definitely was getting the first down, Vin.
I don't. But I'm saying people were acting like there was nobody within 10 yards.
He's
of him.
the fastest.
There was
player
a
on our
guy
team.
trailing him. He would have at least had to break a tackle to get the first down.
Okay, I was a little much with the 15, 20 yards, but he definitely would have had the first.
Okay, yeah, he probably would have had the first. That's what I'm saying. People were saying he would have.
So all you needed was
would
the
have
first
running
down.
for days. No,
Yeah, that's
he would have
all
got
we
the first
needed.
down.
Game was over.
Yeah, you're right. The game was over, but like there was a. People acting like there was you couldn't see anybody in
No,
the picture, but
that-
there was a guy right there.
That the minute he dropped that, I go, here we go again. Here we go. Here the fuck we go.
I mean, okay.
You know,
But
look,
then-
we had Kirk Cousins on the other
The
team.
Kirk
something
Cousins.
to-
oh my god!
A 4th and 8, and we go on a 3-out route.
I mean, I know it's the
thank-
Giants. and I know they can't cover a tight end.
God,
granted,
thank
who
God it
was
was
catching
Xavier.
that ball? Like that
Thank
guy.
God Xavier
that-
McKinney was on him.
Right. It's the Giants. It's a tight end. It's Hawkinson had been killing them all day.
The whole game, I'm just like, I haven't
But-
seen us defend the tight end since I'm alive.
That's what I'm saying. But
Honestly, I'd rather, obviously, looking back on it, thankfully it was Hawkinson who killed us, not Jefferson.
you gotta just throw that up to Jefferson. You have to. You don't have it. I don't care if he's double
and you
covered.
bail out.
Just fucking throw it.
more times than not. That's what happened on Christmas Eve.
That's what happened.
That's
Remember
what happened.
the
That
crazy
in
Bill
Buffalo.
game? Yeah, he
No,
called one end.
No, I know. I'm
Dude,
just
that was mine.
Triple coverage.
that was
And
that-
what we were doing was putting two guys on him.
Christmas Eve was the reset
Christmas.
thing. But yes, absolutely.
I forgot about Christmas. Jesus.
How much is that on Cousins too? For like
The game is not that much on
The game
him,
isn't on
but
Cousins because
that moment was on him.
They played a perfect game. Offensively,
you know,
they
it's
played a
interesting.
perfect
What
game.
did Dalvin Cook's numbers end up with?
See, they don't give him the ball. I don't
don't.
understand.
I don't
It
know.
makes no sense. That one play when they made the trick play, give Dalvin the ball for 1 yard. He
The
makes
trick play to Kirk Cousins was hilarious.
Like, what are you doing? It was 3rd and 1. Run the ball. You have Dalvin
And
Cook.
fucking Madison is good too. Give
They
him
never
the
use him
either one of them.
He didn't get used once. 15 for 60 yards was Dalvin Cook.
And that was the quietest 60 yards.
Yeah.
And also Justin Jefferson was 1 for 1 with -2
Justin
passing
Jefferson
yards.
was shut down like the whole end of his season. The Packers shut him down. I think he didn't
7
really
for 47.
Yeah,
Thielen
that
was more of a
that
threat, I
was-
felt, against us this week than was Jefferson.
Yeah, well, that 4th down, that Love almost laid him out, but he held on to it. Yeah.
Either one of them throw him the ball.
Yeah, I don't get why they just didn't give Cook the ball. I know he was the most tackles for loss in the whole NFL, but he's a home run hitter. Like,
Right.
you gotta just feed him the ball. It's weird.
Interesting, he only had 8 touchdowns. He only has 8 touchdowns on the whole year.
I think he was hurt.
He had to be.
264 carries, 1,100 yards.
Wasn't hurt enough. I don't know.
He didn't miss a game.
I guess not then. I thought he was banged up. Their line is banged up though. That might have been the reason. They have nobody on the line right now. I think they're down to they were on the like 3rd string center.
No, the starter came back.
Oh, the starter came back. Okay.
It's not an excuse. Do you not realize we have a rotating guards?
They
Right.
refer to Jalen Smith.
We literally, and Jalen Smith is still running after a football and
I mean,
diving
people
into a
run
pile.
in circles. Yeah.
This guy just runs. That's all he
Just-
does.
yeah.
He doesn't tackle. He just runs.
No,
And
he
then
just
when there's
runs.
a pile, he jumps on it.
Correct.
Justin sends us the weekly all 22 of him jumping, pile driving into the pile.
Yep. He just
Either
it's
Bobby or
just-
Justin, one of them do.
It's just
And that's the
it-
only play he makes.
it's
He
this,
makes
and
one
if he
play-
happens to stop in the right spot, that's it.
he makes one good play a game. It's really funny.
So a very
Funny
strange
enough,
player to watch.
He ended the game with 7 tackles, 6 solos, and 1 for a loss. Jalen Smith.
He was on the
Well,
Packers
and
for
that
two.
and
yeah.
that one loss was huge. That was the play of the game.
He was on the Packers for two games, and both games there was one blitz where I was like, oh, that's maybe. The rest of the game, it was
It's a run
madness.
blitz. It was a run blitz for him.
yeah,
He
it's
hit the
one of
gap.
those.
He hit the gap perfectly, and Cook was right there.
Crazy.
So
Funny.
it's gonna be.
Let's
It's
see.
like
Fun guy to watch.
Also,
not
fun fact, he
comparing-
was number 2 on the team in tackles this season.
Well, as a
well,
linebacker,
makes
they always
sense.
get tackles.
Makes
It's just
sense.
there.
Julian Love had over 100, so he has to come. back.
124 for Love, 88 for Jalen. Dexter, 68. It's a big
Dexter,
drop.
man, we really have to.
Fabian
extend-
Monroe, crazy enough, he was literally the only guy the teams would throw against when he was the number 1 cornerback.
Well, yeah, that
At like
that
3
what's
weeks of him.
the McLaurin touchdown burns in my head.
McLaurin's good though.
No, he's awesome.
Yeah.
I
He just
love the there was a TikTok guy, it was like an Eagle fan, being like, look at this Viking fan sitting right behind the end zone. The giant guy, Isaiah Hodges scores a touchdown, and this guy's flipping him off.
Yeah.
Later in the game, the Viking player gives him a football.
Gives him the football. I noticed that. Yeah.
And the guy's like, if this was Philly, that guy would be crucified for giving the double bird behind the end zone. Guy in Minnesota, what a lovely human being. Let's give him a football.
Well,
They probably didn't see it.
you get some people get the benefit of the doubt. Philly stinks.
Yeah,
Bears.
they're the worst.
What's their? Let me see.
I wonder their tailgating policy, because they're gonna get
They
there.
have- Same
Knowing
as
Philly,
Atlanta
they
State.
probably.
Everybody's got the stupid policy.
The policy's 5 hours. That's it.
I didn't realize it was the NFL thing, but
It is an NFL thing now.
Jesus, the NFC is such a disaster. I was looking at their point differential.
the AFC is winning the Super Bowl this year.
So it's point differentials, right? San Francisco plus 173, Philly plus 133, Dallas plus 125.
Then I
The
trust.
the only other plus is the Lions at plus 26.
Right, everybody
The
else.
Seahawks are
And the
plus
Vikings
6.
were -1.
Everybody else is negative. The Lions
Wasn't the Vikings like -1?
The
on the
Vikings
season?
were -3. The Packers are -1. Everybody in the north and the south were minus.
We were minus.
The Giants were -6.
That was because we didn't turn over the
The Bears were minus 137.
Yeah, but look at our minus last year. Talk about improvement.
Okay. No, see, I do want to make a comment on this because Brian Daboll is getting a lot of credit, and he deserves a whole lot of credit.
Watch what you say, Vin.
They were not a 3-win
You're just
team.
jealous because you have a shit.
They
coach.
were not a 3-win team last year, or whatever. How many games they won, they were not that bad of a team.
No,
They
literally the last couple
had
of years they lost a lot of
Zero
very close
quarterback the last 10 weeks.
Yeah,
Like,
the last 5, 6.
Whatever it was.
COVID year. We
That
almost went to the playoffs
everything that
with
we
COVID
remember that was horrible about the last Giants regime, they were on their 4th quarterback. So yeah, we got a little carried away, and it was awful.
Are you trying to give Joe Judge a head coaching job again?
I'm trying to just say.
Are you trying to get Gettleman hired somewhere? Do you
I
want
might be,
Gettleman
yeah.
to run the Packers?
I might be.
Is that what you want?
Well, as
You're
an
like,
owner,
I need someone
I
to
have to
come
be
in,
looking out
run
for
my
these
team
things.
into the ground, and so we can bring it back up.
Yeah, I'm. If anybody can get Aaron Rodgers out of town, it's Dave Gettleman for sure. So I'm looking for it, please. All I'm saying is, the Giants have had a great turnaround, but they're not the. I mean, how many games did they win last year? 4. They were like a 7-win team last year. If
they
Danny
were
plays
healthy-
if Daniel Jones plays their whole
You know
season,
what?
they probably
the
win
most
7 games.
frustrating thing about Daniel last year was the injury, because if you remember correctly, he got hurt in the first quarter, and that was the first game Freddie Kitchens became the OC, and so we never got to see them kind of
the
opening
Freddie
up.
Kitchen, yeah.
Because they clearly tried that game, that they did open it up a little bit.
Right,
And the
'cause he
Chris
came out wanting
Myrick-
to open it up, and then
Chris Myrick, that was probably Kenny Galladay's last game as a decent wide receiver. He had like 70 yards that game.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, I just want to say
whatever. We're on the NFC divisional round against the Philadelphia Eagles. We haven't won in Philly since 2013. It was funny. Michael Vick got hurt, and Matt Barkley played in like halfway through the game. Antrell Roll and Will Hill, the one-year wonder of Will Hill, got interceptions that game. Will Hill played like a man. I mean, Antrell Roll played like a man that game.
I'm trying to find the game. Hold on.
It's 2013.
2013 home
today in sports
Giants.
history,
Road,
by the
yeah,
way.
road, obviously.
Well, home. I'm looking at the Philly
Oh,
schedule.
right.
Sorry. You won.
By the way, this
Giants won
date and
15-7.
Yeah. And then we were
Uh,
2-6. That was the year we started like 0-6.
No touchdowns. All Josh Brown field goals.
Yeah.
oof.
And they recovered a fumble for a
Yeah,
touchdown.
that was Steve Weatherford. I saw the highlights yesterday. Someone put it on Twitter.
Let's see. Eli went 25 for 39, 246. Obviously, no touchdowns, but also no interceptions. That's just a blah game. Peyton Hillis, 20 carries, 70 yards.
Speaking of that, I haven't heard an update this week, but good thing he
seems to be doing better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that too. Vic gets hurt, like Danny said. Barkley throws only one interception, 158 yards.
Yeah, Vic threw the other one to Roll.
Vic did throw the other one. Roll and who? Will Hill.
If that guy stopped smoking weed, he would have been something.
Intro Roll also had a sack in this game.
I remember seeing that in the highlight.
Linval and Matthias Kiwanuka.
Right. That was like one of the last years of like the whole championship team being won.
Terrell Thomas, wasn't he a corner?
Yes.
It was.
Why did he have 11 tackles in this game?
He must have played up in the box in the slot, I guess.
He forced a fumble. He had a sack. He had 11. He had a hell of a game.
That was one of those players, man. If he ever stayed healthy, he would have been something.
Prince forced a fumble too.
I remember that guy made a play in a preseason game, ran off the field without a helmet directly into the locker room, and then they
And we
announced like
never
an hour
saw-
later that he tore his ACL. And everyone's
Yeah,
like,
he
this
had-
guy got up and ran off.
Yeah, he had a bad history with knees.
But also, this date in history, boys, is on January 19th, 20 years ago. Rondé Barber closed the link.
The vet.
The vet, yeah, whatever. Stupid jail cells.
So, don't you have an Islander game Saturday? Did you sell your tickets? Are
No,
you
I'm
going?
to the Islander game. It's alumni night. Eric Fishow is going to be in town. I have to be there.
Oh, baby. Nothing says excitement.
Okay, this is a mean stat.
Plus,
I'm just gonna read it.
hockey game's at 7:30, which means I'm out of there by 10:30, and kickoff is 8:15. I'm out of there at halftime. I'm home for the second half. It takes
It's
11
also an
minutes to get
Islander
home.
game, so you could leave at the end of the second period.
I'll probably be on the Heineken deck watching the whole game anyway.
Because of they fumbled in a punt, Zach Diassi is credited with negative 35 yards of fumble. Sorry, it's unfortunate.
On repeat that.
Because this is back to that Eagle Giant game.
On what? I didn't hear the stat. What was it?
They credit Zach Diassi with negative 35 yards because of the fumble.
The fumble. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess Weatherford didn't touch it.
No, I guess not. That's bad now. Just a funny. I was just looking through the things and it says fumble yards negative 35. It's tough for a long snapper.
Rough.
He doesn't get a lot of stats.
Yeah.
Probably going to get into the Ring of Honor eventually. Okay.
I
I
don't
wonder if they'll bring that up. I wonder
Who's
if they
next?
bring that up when he gets put into the Ring of Honor.
No one.
We're kind of out, right?
We're out for a bit. Unless they bring some obscure player from the 50s and 60s.
Which I'm sure they will find somebody.
Yeah. Because there's no one in the 90s and 2000s. They covered everybody.
Kind of
Unless-
Hilliard.
I wish.
Put a Hilliard up there.
No, he was good, but he wasn't.
No. JPP
like-
up there? No, you
What?
can't put. Can you
No.
put JPP
You
there?
can't put him up there yet. Not yet, at least.
Unfortunately,
retired.
he only really had 1 year.
It was his rookie year, and he didn't even know what hell he was doing.
No, it was his second year.
It was his second year. Okay.
But
Sure.
yeah, he would have been one. Steve was right with
I was shocked that he's still playing JPP.
Yeah, he was washed though.
He's
It was wasn't he a Raven
Baltimore.
when
He's-
they came to town? Yeah.
He's still
Yeah.
in Baltimore.
Like I would have thought Victor Cruz for the whole hometown, but Steve's right. They're not doing him. But
No, probably not.
I don't think it's long enough to do him.
right, he had 2.5.
He'll forever
years.
be one of those giants that no one will forget, but he's not.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
the same
I
thing with
agree.
Sehorn.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
remember
well,
Sehorn, but he's not going to get in. He's not going to
yeah,
get up
because he
there.
wasn't there on enough. Yeah.
Do
Mm.
something for Fossil.
Nah.
No, he
Some
wanted it.
kinda
Tiki talked
Honorary
about it.
thing. I don't
No,
know.
they did
Right,
the
I
honorary
remember that.
thing. They had him on.
I don't know.
reserve
I'm
for him.
spitballing here.
No, they would have done it already.
Yeah, I mean
I was about-
they mentioned it. I'm sure.
I will say this. It's cool that Tiki's doing WFAN. It seems like everybody's liking Tiki again.
It was very interesting to
everybody.
see. It was interesting to see.
Don't let him fool you.
MSG's broadcast was at the.
I only
ESPN radio guy.
listen for BT. I only listen for BT.
He doesn't have opinions. He's just
No, Tiki
flies off the.
Tiki
No, not
has-
Tiki.
Oh
Snacks. He
Yeah.
just every minute it's something different. I don't know.
no, don't let him fool you. He listens to BT and Tiki. I know he does.
Sure.
So they had the Michael K show was at UBS Arena.
Yeah, that was weird.
And of course, they like introduced them on the screen, and they're all holding jerseys, and everyone's like, "Why is that one guy not only?" I'm like, Donald LaGreca is like one of the most well-known, biggest Ranger fans in the world.
Yeah,
No,
none of them
he
care
works
about
for the
Islanders.
Rangers. He actually has a Devils Stanley Cup tattoo. Actually, it's really funny.
Yeah, I mean they do that. Like Howie's a Ranger fan too, but he was at the Islanders for fucking ever, and the Rangers obviously. But
Speaking of Howie, congratulations.
yeah, I
to
was gonna
him
say
and,
we're talking about Ring of Honors. We can flip to that quick.
congratulations to them.
Like I joked though, all four guys are well deserving, but like we're gonna have to eventually slow down. Now we're going too crazy.
Well, this is Hall of Fame. This isn't retired. Remember, this is the Mets
No,
Hall
I
of Fame.
know.
They haven't. When was the last Met Hall of Fame day?
They did Hall of
Couple
Fame
years ago.
Day. Yeah. I think last year
I thought they've been doing it yearly.
they did. Yeah, they did. They did Darling with Matt Lack and somebody else.
Right.
Fonzie, and I think that might have been 2 years ago.
2001.
Yeah, that
was
was
the
2
last
years
Hall
ago.
of Fame day.
2021. They didn't do one last year because they had
'Cause
the
of-
Keith Day
Well, they had Keith Day and they had Old Timers Day.
and Old
So-
Timers Day.
They had Jay
So I wonder
Horowitz.
if maybe listen, maybe they do it that way. You do every other year.
Well, they
You
had
do a
Jay
Hall of
Horowitz.
Fame.
They had Jay Horowitz on the Shea Station podcast.
Okay.
So they're not having Old Timers Day this year. They're gonna use it every couple of years.
Okay.
It was so much work, and it was actually funny. Jerry Blevins wasn't invited; they forgot about him, so he was making Jay Horowitz feel bad about it, which was pretty funny.
That's unfortunate. Although Jerry doesn't deserve to get invited. No offense. I love Jerry. He's just there, but I wouldn't
Right.
put him at Old Timers Day.
Hello, Jerry.
Yeah,
Listen, the next big Met thing is David.
Hopefully,
see
David.
that's the thing.
See, and you're also gonna assume you're gonna have Jose Reyes as a Hall of Famer.
You got to do that
At least a
too.
Hall of Famer, yes, but
You
the
got to put
question is
David.
what kind of day.
David's not in the Hall of Fame yet, is he? No, they got to
No.
do that too. I mean, you do it together, or whatever, but they haven't done it yet.
David gets a day.
Like, well, I'm saying
David's got to
was
get
different-
something. I know it's not. It's kind of similar to the way Eli was with the Giants, minus the championships, of course, and the length. But like,
right.
the way he
What I'm
was
saying
on that
is-
team.
It was different then, but Piazza got a Hall of Fame day, and then
Yes.
they retired his number years later.
Yeah, but you also got to remember that that regime was very inclined to
Right.
You have to be in the Hall of Fame to get
To
your number
retire
retired.
numbers.
So that's why they gave him his Hall of Fame day,
Or die.
and that
because
was
of ill health.
and then they waited to retire the number.
Or die. I don't know if David's next is the thing, because it's very clear that when they put Jay Horowitz in charge of this stuff, that they went back and said we have to fix some stuff. So they did Kuzman and they did Keith. I think there's still
And
a
Willie.
guy left. Do you do
You forgot
Strawberry or Doc? I think Strawberry is the only one.
You're
Strawberry
putting
Doc.
Hojo in the. You're putting Hojo there.
Well, I'm saying retired number.
Yeah, no, Doc and Daryl are already in the Hall of Fame.
They had their time with that.
That was a terrible game.
What
I
about?
had my uncle's seats that game. That was terrible.
I'm saying
what
another
about,
retired, like one more
Gary?
retired number before you do.
Gary
Carter? He was-
yeah, that
he
would be
wasn't-
cool with the family.
Again, he wasn't with them. He was only with them for like 4 years.
Right.
So do you? That's the tough.
See,
Strawberry's the
it's
one. if
kind
you're
of
gonna
in the
do it.
same conversation
But-
as
Finn, you can't
Keto.
you can't have Daryl without Doc. It's out. It's peanut butter and jelly. You just can't do it
I tend to agree.
because
So-
they equally were what they were supposed to be, and unfortunately, their bad paths took them the wrong way.
They're also, I think, gonna wait because like he wasn't at Old Timers Day, David, and he was like, "Cause I don't feel old." I was like, "That's not a fucking reason." So I don't.
Well, does
I
he
don't-
still have that honorary job position with the Mets?
He
Yeah,
might.
because they actually announced today that
Yeah,
they've already
he's coming
spoke
in
to
to
him
help
what he's
Beatty
doing
and
in camp.
Vientos a little bit.
Like his job this spring is to basically work with Beatty and those, which is funny how
just-
they never announced that until Correa vanished.
I know. I don't think he really does his job thing anymore, whatever it was.
He's the ambassador. The league needs a
Right.
former Met player somewhere. He's the guy who goes.
But he's not. He wants the. He's got his kids are fucking like 2 and 5 or something. He wants to.
They were 2 and 5 when he retired. They got to be older by now.
You're right. They were 2 and 5 when he retired, so they're like 4 and 8 now. Whatever the math was. Their kids are growing ages. Once they're like in their teenage years, maybe he'll start doing something. I don't know.
So, in August of 21, he had a toddler, which was the third kid.
He's got 3 kids. Oh, he just had a third kid. Oh, okay, right. No, he only had 2 when he retired.
Did not realize that he's a retired baseball player with nothing
I
to do
forgot.
anymore.
I forgot about the third kid.
What else is he gonna do?
He had 2 when he retired, and he has had a third since. So I don't. He doesn't seem to want to do anything.
They have 2 daughters and a son. Nothing about age.
His son was the one that was just born.
Right.
I think.
That is correct. Apparently, he also was on the Celebrity Apprentice at one point to purchase hot dogs.
Sure.
Per Wikipedia.
He's canceled. That was with Trump. Sorry, can't do it.
I remember Strawberry on that.
I mean, the most memorable
Herschel.
one on there is Herschel Walker, but we don't have to talk about Herschel Walker. Oh god.
So you want to wrap it up? Game picks.
KC, Giants cover. Cincinnati. And a
Are these-
close one.
Betting picks or like is Casey
Girl.
going to cover? You think?
No.
Okay,
They backdoor.
I agree.
If anything, they're going to backdoor cover it, like Danny said. But I'm going
I
to go with
think-
no, they're not going to cover. Giants
I'm sticking with
do
10-point
cover.
games so they cover,
Giants
still a cover.
do cover.
but lose.
I haven't
They're
said
gonna
that
lose
yet.
in. It's
They're going to lose on a 63-yard field goal. This
feel it. Boston Scott gets his normal game touchdown against
Boston
us.
Scott
Danny,
touchdown
I was
anytime
told-
is like the lock of the week.
that Boston Scott is not a giant killer.
Yeah, Wink was kind of crazy on that one for saying that, but you can't.
As soon
say it
as I
as a
saw
coach.
that, I was like, "Oh God,
10 out of 17.
you're asking for it,
touchdowns.
bud."
10 touchdowns.
He literally
and
spends
17
every game in his career against us in the end zone.
Wait, how many touchdowns?
17 total in his career, and he scored 10 against us.
I
That's
gotta
some
bet on
Pat.
that.
That's
I'm-
some Pat Burrow stuff.
I'm betting on Boston Scott scoring a touchdown this week.
That's like going to a game at Ryan Howard's prime and you knowing he's just going to hit a bomb
Okay, so
500 feet.
with the Giants' record in Philly, it's really like going for the Mets standpoint of going down to Atlanta and just like, oh, this is not going to be
It's the
fun.
House of Horrors. Yeah. Damn.
But we have all the momentum.
I do agree on that. What are the
They're due.
odds for Boston
due.
Scott to score a touchdown? You think
I
plus
heard it-
430?
Oh my God, that's
Think
like
it's
free
worth it.
money.
Think it's worth taking?
That's free money.
I'm gonna think about
I
that.
don't know. Darius Slay gave up a touchdown pass to
Kenny
Kenny
Galladay.
Galladay. So let's see if maybe that can happen again.
What's Kenny Galladay odds? You think? Before we wrap,
You know what's funny? I said it to Vin too the day of the Eagle game. I'm like, I have a weird feeling Kenny Galladay's getting a touchdown today, and it's like pure money to just put it on there. And I just never hit the button.
Adriana did it.
it's 1200 plus 1200. Can I bet
If
for
Kenny
Kenny Galladay
Galladay
to
gets
get
in
a
this game and gets a
pancake?
touchdown later in this game,
A
like
garbage time touchdown to cover.
cover the 7.5 and
I think he
get the
got his
over.
one touchdown. I think that's it.
You
He
know
got-
how mad Richie James would be because that's the only time he scored a touchdown other than the Colts game.
Who is Jack Stoll?
Someone on the Eagles.
He's An option to bet. I just want to know what
He is a
does.
tight end on the Eagles.
Okay.
Third string, I would assume.
Who is Grant
Hey, that I can't answer.
Calgalera? He's also a tight end. They have a lot of tight ends, the Eagles.
What's his face was hurt for a while, so they probably just naming every tight end.
Yeah, you're probably right. Goddard. He's on here.
He's
This
another
guy had
one.
11 receptions for 123 yards this year.
Daniel Jones plus 230 for any time touchdown is not a bad one.
No.
With the way he ran last week. Anyway.
What is this? The Bills are going to wear what this weekend? Jeez. Oh, they're all going to wear chains with the number 3 on it at the game.
Love it.
Oh, might
Let's
as well
hope-
put them into cover.
Apparently,
Let's hope Aqib Talib is nowhere to be found.
apparently he was been at the facility all week.
Yeah, is this the week you is it the facility?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
been
okay.
at the facility. Nothing about being like at the
No,
stadium though. Something about not being able to be at the stadium.
There's
said last
no
week, it's
shot
like-
he's ever playing again. He'll be
I'm not talking about playing. I'm saying like to me this
Being
was
there
like
in the luxury box.
right. You
putting him
haven't
on the
seen
screen.
none of you have seen him in person
no
since it happened. We bring him back for this game.
right.
He's the captain or whatever.
This
kind
would
of
be the
thing.
game to do it.
I know, but if he's at the facility, that kind of defeats the whole
Defeats the
purpose.
purpose.
No, he's there already. He's with them.
Well, for the first time the fans see him.
Yeah, I mean, I think I still think you could do it. I think you should do it, to be honest.
You can kind of do it like the Giants did at the Colts game with Lawrence Taylor. The whole team comes out, they introduce him,
Right.
and then right before the coin toss, you go, "Hey, we forgot a guy." Kind of like
Right.
bring him on the field.
Announce them, do everything. Yeah.
So that's gonna be interesting because even like we go back to what we were talking about earlier with Ryan, right? And he even talked about it like right after it happened. It was like this guy's barely been paid yet. This guy is still living on a rookie contract. Who's gonna be taking care of this guy if his career is over?
I know.
Like his medical bills are gonna go through the roof. Who's taking care of him?
Well, there was something. He got an extension and then there was something about an injury thing that messed it up, and the Bills are paying it.
Well, I think it's service time.
Well, that's the thing. He signed a 4-year, $3 million contract with the Bills.
Yeah, but that was his
Uh,
rookie.
Is that his rookie contract?
That's his rookie deal.
Let me look. I'm just saying that feels high for he was a 6th round pick. Why would that be his rookie deal? You know what I'm saying?
Drafted.
No, I guess it is his rookie
Drafted
deal.
signed 2001.
Yeah, never mind. Oh, that's total. I'm thinking per year.
Yeah, no, that's total number. But they also announced that they were going to pay him full salary because usually when you go on the
Right,
IR,
that's
your
what I was-
salary
that's
gets
what I
cut and all
saw.
that.
Yeah, base salary. I did numbers just didn't add up in my head. That's all. All right.
God, man. Can you go to school for accounting? Jeez.
Yeah.
Numbers.
And look where we're at now, boys.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your football this weekend. Let's have some fun. Let's cover spreads.
Let's go Giants. Ruin the Eagles championship run.
And we will see you guys next week.